Welcome to Paper Wishes, our weekly webisode. Now, before we get started with this beautiful Midnight Botanica card kit, it's just gorgeous. I do want to give a shout out to Heidi. Heidi's our designer, as you know, and it's her birthday. So happy birthday, Heidi. We're all singing happy birthday to you, but do want to show you some absolutely wonderful things that Heidi's done. Midnight Botanica is a deep, rich color combination. I'm going to show you everything that Heidi used, and she used almost everything, so that's really nice. So you get the collection of foil die cuts, printed adorable scoreable, and you get the idea sheet. You also have the smaller 4x4. You have some foiled acetate that's just gorgeous. You also have card inserts and something new, these topper panels. All of this will make a very fun webisode and a very fun happy birthday to Heidi. Come play with us. As I said, it has deep, rich colors, as you can tell with Heidi's first card. And this is a gatefold card, but it's also an interlocking card, so you can see what she's done. But let me show you what she used, because Heidi has done some really fun things with these components. And if there are any of you who are watching this who think, you know, hunky-dory, it's just kind of paste them down and everything is good, you can be very creative with these wonderful collections. So let me show you. This is the sheet of die cuts. Now these die cuts are foiled. You can see the foiling on there, but they're also printed on what's called a mirri sheet, M-I-R-R-I. Highly reflective. It enables them to get these very rich colors. So that's nice. I thought it was really clever that Heidi took this one and turned it this way. And there are, let me see, 1, 2, 3 layers of these ovals. So as you can see, she used the center one and then she used the outside ring. So just wanted to give you that. In addition, she has used this mirri sheet. This is part of the topper collection, and she has cut it to fit on each of the panels. So as you know, to make a gatefold card, you take your blank card, lay it out flat, bring each of the ends to the center, not overlapping, but just touching right in the middle. And that's how you form the base for this. And as you can see, what Heidi has done, she has cut these down. Now she first cut right next to the border there. There's a wider border and a really narrow one. So she cut right next to the narrow. And the measurements, everything's in the gallery down below, so you can see that. And that's going to give her this beautiful pattern on the edge. So that's there. She cut the same size out of the foiled acetate. Isn't that pretty? So this also has 2 borders on the edge. So she went right, just almost touching, just a little bit away from that narrow border. And then this was attached like this. So that, let me show you on the card, so that you end up with a look like this. Okay, so you can see that the adorable scoreable has been cut down, glued down, and then when she placed the second piece, what she did is she took some of the extra sticky tape. Let me see. Hopefully I have some right here. Yes, here we go. Always have it at the ready. The extra sticky tape, and positioned it behind that strip, and then placed that right on her piece of adorable scoreable that was already on her card. That way you're going to get 2 gold borders on each of the flaps. So I'm hoping you can see that. There you go. Really, really pretty. What a nice way to use the foiled acetate. That overlapping is just beautiful. And you're going to have some left, of course. And that middle area, use that for your shaker cards. It's going to be perfect. Okay, so she has that on both sides. And then she added, and teal was the color that she is using to really highlight this. And she went into our teal border dazzles. There you go. and place them inside one of the borders on each side. Works really perfectly. Then she took a smaller one, let's see, there you go, a smaller one, and put it toward the center of her card on each of the flaps. And that's what's nice about these. I think there's 31 borders on each sheet, and they go a long way. Now the other thing that's here is you see all of these diamonds that are on that frame. Well, those come from the innies of one of the borders, so that worked nicely too. So placing those two, the adorable scorable, the acetate, the dazzles, and then the die cut on top. And you can see that she has added more of the teal in her ribbon, and this is our teal and aqua ribbon set. So she's just done a bow. This happens to be out of the crepe ribbon, which is one of our favorites, because you can smash it and it just pops right back up. On the inside, let me show you what she has done here. That centerpiece, let me hold that up for you so you can really see it. May everything that makes you happy be yours today and always. Isn't that nice? This whole piece is one piece. It comes from that topper panel that I showed you, and I've not seen a topper panel before. So it's got the art, it's got the greeting, all of that together. So Heidi just used it as it comes, but she trimmed it to fit on the inside of her card. But what's behind here? Well, let me show you. She used another of the adorable scorable, and you'll notice that this matches the art in the topper panel. Isn't that pretty? Now, hint, because she did use this to cover the whole inside of the card, but you really end up only seeing a small part of it. So if you wanted to, you could maybe just use cardstock for that and save this piece, but it's your call. The other thing she did, which I think is quite brilliant, is that she used one of the card inserts. Again, the art matches the adorable scorable, and she glued that to the inside piece. Again, the measurements are in the gallery, but look how that is so pretty. It just gives that really nice piece where you can still see some artwork, but it separates the shine from the shine. Works really well. More of the border dazzles are on the edge of that insert. One more of the toppers is right down here, and another bow, and you are done. How pretty. And you've got goodies left over. You would know that, wouldn't you? Okay, we're going to go into another. And this time Heidi made an easel card. And let me show you some of the things that she has used. This is the die cut sheet. And as you can see, these are just, all of them are just deep, deep, rich colors. This too has 1, 2, 3 frames or die cuts all connected. They're nested together. And maybe I should turn this right side up, don't you think? Okay. And she has used that as the piece right here. But let me show you what else is going on. So this card is an easel card. Kind of like the gatefold card, one of the easier specialty cards to make. So you're simply going to take your card base, turn it horizontally so that fold is at the top, take only the front and fold it inside just to the fold line, and press that down, use your bone folder, and then you've got the makings for this style of card. Now what Heidi has done is she's brought in some cardstock, and the cardstock is in this cardstock set. It says pearlescent. It's not pearlescent, it's just regular cardstock, but it's a heck of a value. And she has used the tan out of here. Let me just flip this. She's going to use this in another card too. So these are the pastel colors. You get a couple of each one, and you can see that there's a full range. And the yellow she's going to use later. The tan is what she used on this particular card. So she cut them to size to fit inside each of the panels, allowing the card base to show. That becomes a white mat. I think that's a great way to do it. Then she has taken one of the adorable scorable printed pieces, Isn't that pretty? And she used the center area, and it has kind of a flourished design in it. Browns and blacks, really rich. And she has cut 2 panels to place right here. That works nicely. Then she went to another favorite, and this happens to be our copper border dazzles. And she has edged both of them on 3 sides with the border dazzles. So it just in the copper, it's just copper and brown is such a beautiful combination. Then she has taken a border from the die cut sheet, this border, so it's plain in the center. She put one of the narrow dazzles on it and placed it, glued it on the front, top part. And then on the bottom, she's just added a smidge of the dazzles, just going out each side of the edge. Really nice. She has used this whole piece, as I said, all 3 layers as one, and she has matted that on the same tan cardstock. And when you glue it, you just glue only the bottom to only the bottom of the card, those 2 bottoms together, okay? Then she has added the copper jewel dazzles, and there are 540 on this sheet. Comes in 3 different sizes. You've got a gazillion of them. And she's placed those in the center of her flowers. She's added a brown bow. This is out of the brown collection of ribbons. You can see the dotted one is right there. And she's zotted that in place. And she's foam taped the best wishes from that die cut piece. On the inside of her card, well, the whole inside is covered with the tan cardstock. Then she has taken the card insert. This is the one that matches this collection, and has glued that in place just inside. Again, measurements are in the gallery. And then she has added the border dazzles around the edge. And then she has taken this. This is out of the 4x4 pad that I showed you in the very beginning. It's got everything. It's got a frame. It's got the artwork. So that goes right here. And I think it's really nice that she added more of the copper border dazzles on the corners. She added one of the die cuts there and more of the jewel and the brown bow on the inside. So everything coordinates. But on the front, you see the dark, rich colors, but it's contrasted by the tan and the white card. On the inside, you're seeing a bit more of the lighter tones, but you still get a duplicate of that rich, deep color. Really, really nice. Okay, now we're going to go into a die cut card. Let me bring that in. And this is done with our 3D frame. There you go, with our 3D frame collection. So let me show you this card. You see the frame? See how deep that is? And okay, let me show you what the lady has done. So the 3D frame is like this. You get 3 cards, 3 envelopes, and you simply take the card. There we go. I have one right there. And you're going to take the card itself. It is already scored for you. There are directions. Let me show you right there. Easy directions. There's nothing to this card. And you're going to simply fold this frame. You're going to fold it back and then fold it forward. You're going to do that on each of the sides. And obviously I have pre-folded these, but they're scored super easy. Now it does make a frame, but it's kind of ugly right there. So you will get a square like this that will go inside and we'll cover that up. You're also going to get another square for every single card that's going to cover up that unfinished business right there and make it look very finished, okay? So that's what you're gonna get in that kit. Now, what did she use? Well, let me just show you. She began by taking that die cut card and she placed it onto this adorable scoreable. In fact, let me show you. This is the sheet that she used. So you get a square and you get an arch. I love the arch also. but the square is going to suit her purposes quite perfectly, don't you think? So she took the adorable squirrel and she placed it over the frame on her card. Okay, so you can just glue that down and cut it out, or you can measure it, whatever you like. You do need to cut out the center area, okay? So you can go ahead and glue the top of it and cut that out, and then open this and pull these back if you want to on the back of your card. Just follow that and cut it out. Use our X-Acto knife, I would recommend, and a ruler. Then you're going to have a piece that is framed like this, okay? What I think is really fun that Heidi discovered is that this floral frame right around her floral bouquet is going to perfectly fit the frame of this 3D frame card. Look at that. All you do is pop it out and glue it on. The other thing I think is really clever is this piece. But before we get there, let's pop this out and glue it onto the frame that's going to go inside the card. It too is a perfect fit. So glue that on, press it in. Then I really like this border placed across here. I think it just does a really nice job, and it's something simple, but something I've never seen before, and I really like it. So that's placed across here. It's got lots of love is repeated. And then she has taken the birthday wishes and has glued that on top. Now Heidi chose to use the pink sparklets, shimmer sparklets from Hunky Dory. Yours will be full and have all the pieces in it. I borrowed this from the design team. You can see she put some here, some into her flowers. She also added a sweet little tag that is part of this sheet. So that's going there. And then she wanted to really pop that pink, so she went into the magenta and dark pink ribbon set. Really nice. Now what about the inside of her card? Well, here's what she did. She took that same piece that she did on the frame and covered the other square with it. Then she took a piece of the foiled acetate. I love this stuff, and I love seeing what the designers do with it. So she cut this into a square, turned it on point, and placed it right on top of the square. And then she popped out another of the foiled pieces and glued that. So this is nice and flat. Even with those little shimmer pieces, it's still nice. On the inside of her card, she's gone back to that, well, actually, no, she has used the insert paper. So this one, and she has cut it. You'll see the measurements in the gallery. And then she added, let me pull this out. Here we go. Yes, this is one of the 4x4 pieces. And when I was going through them to pull out the ones that Heidi used, I realized that if it didn't look right, turn it, because then it's going to match. Okay, so when I saw it this way, I kept looking, gee, I don't have it, what's happened? And then when I found when I turned it to match hers, then it would just go right in place. So this is what she put down. And then she took more of that gilded and foiled acetate, cut a square, cut it in half diagonally to get 2 triangles, and she placed the extra sticky tape right there, and then positioned the acetate on top. Now that's the deal. You don't have to glue every bit of it down. Just let the that border hide the glue. Of course, it's transparent, so it's not too hard to do. Do that on both corners. It brings the that triangle right out to the edges. And then to kind of duplicate that border, she went back to her die cut sheet, the one that she used here, and did another piece right there. Added one of the arch die cuts and one of the little circle ones, a bow and another of the Hunky Dory sparklets, and that finished her card. Very, very clever. By the way, you do get envelopes in that package, and this is pretty sturdy. It's not going to collapse on you. You may want to put some bubble wrap around it when you tuck it in the envelope and send it, or pop it into a box, but it's going to travel pretty well because it traveled here well too. Got one more for you, and here is what our birthday girl has done. This is a big card, but it too has a nice contrast between the light and the dark with these heavily patterned embellishment pieces. And again, she went into the pastel cardstock that I showed you earlier. So she's taken one of the 12 by 12 sheets and she has cut it down. I think it's something like 8.5 by 8 3/4, but the directions are in the gallery, as you know. So here's what she's done to sit inside the front of her card. She has taken this adorable squirrel. Isn't that beautiful? And she has cut it to fit. So this area, and before she glued it down, she took one of the ribbons in the ivory ribbon set. Kind of looked yellow to me right here because of the yellow cardstock, but this is ivory, and she glued it just going right down the left side. And then she glued that piece to the front of her card. Then she took, let me show you, this is the one that she's using. And again, speaking of turning things differently, when I turn it like this, I think you can see what's going on. And actually, it's going to match it like that because you can see those flowers match. And she put it onto the yellow cardstock, matted it, and foam taped the outside frame, saved the next frame for something else, and then she took this piece and foam taped it down. Really nice. Then this center one, well, this is another one of the pieces out of that same sheet. That is foam taped in place. It too was matted with just a much smaller frame. This is about 1/8 of an inch. This is more like 1/16 of an inch. I love the bow going in the same direction as that piece of ribbon. Just really, really nice. The inside of her card, well, look at this, so easy to do. She's taken another one of these topper panels. It's got the background, it's got the greeting. She simply glued it in place. Yes, just that easy. She did add and foam tape the little happy birthday and tied a little ribbon knot and zotted it right there. All of these are done, all beautifully done with the Midnight Botanica set, with all of the coordinating elements that are just beautifully crafted and gorgeously executed by our friends at Hunky Dory. Now, they, as I've mentioned several times, the measurements are down below in the gallery. Also, a lot of the items that Heidi used are also down there. And the money saver, you know, over on the right side of your screen, you know the drill. There's a money saver for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please head over to paperwishes.com. We'd like you to be able to take advantage of that money saver, get all of the directions, and maybe kind of stay around and look around. Thank you so much for joining us, and I know Heidi is having a wonderful birthday, and we hope you too have a great day. Thanks for being part of our Paper Wishes family.